Open your heart. It is done. It is done. Oh. It is done. Oh, grace is upon us. Open your heart. This is love. This is love. Oh, this is love. This is love. The Lord is here. This is love. The Lord is here. This is love. This is love. This is love. Oh, this is love. Come to the highest point of the mountain at the earliest possible moment. Come to the highest point of the mountain at the earliest possible moment. The Lord is here. This is love. The Lord is here. This is love. This is love. This is love. Oh, this is love. Grace is upon us. Open your heart. It is done. It is done. Oh, grace is upon us. Open your heart. This is love. This is love. This is love. This is love. Grace is upon us. Open your heart. It is done. It is done. Oh, grace is upon us. Open your heart. This is love. This is love. Oh, this is love. This is love.
Om. Namaste. Welcome everyone to Satsang today here in Rishikesh, and big welcome to all who are still with us via broadcasting, so that they may, like us, be in real time here in India, in Rishikesh, direct and live satsang. So big welcome for you, and very, very good. Just before we go, I just want to remind you of the kind of questions that I would encourage in people. That, of course, I accept that people want to know, have knowledge about the different levels of consciousness and what happens in deep sleep and if you leave the body and all of that. But I'd rather direct your attention to be asking what I call freedom questions, which is questions that take you into the direct recognition of what I've been saying is your timeless nature, our pure reality, for which reason we have come to discover this, and not merely to treat satsang like it's a place just of learning or lectures, but of discovery, and alive and perpetuating discovery. So maybe you come for me and express this.
Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste.
I need Russian translation.
Translation Russian.
Я благодарю тебя. И все, что ты говоришь, все, что ты передаешь, я воспринимаю очень естественно, как так и надо.
I would like to thank you, and everything you say I perceive in a very natural way, the way it should be.
Чувствую себя очень спокойно.
And I feel very quiet and peaceful.
И верю, что я могу так себя ощущать даже за пределами зала.
And I believe I can feel this peace and quiet even outside this hall.
Однако за пределами зала,
At the same time, outside the hall,
во время житейских ситуаций, а именно в области взаимоотношений с мужчиной,
when I'm outside the hall when meeting life situations, especially when it comes to relationships with men,
я наблюдаю, как моя личность огорчается, расстраивается, печалится, отчаивается.
I'm observing the way my person gets frustrated or feels sad.
Because?
Почему?
Один момент. Всё.
Just a second.
И мой вопрос в том, что я одновременно как бы наблюдаю за этим.
And my question is that I'm at the same time observing what is happening.
И одновременно в это вовлекаюсь, то есть чувствую себя подавленно, а не легко, не свободно, не отстраненно, как чистое
Getting
сознание.
involved this and feeling very down, very depressed, rather than being detached from what is happening.
Okay.
И мой вопрос, не значит ли это, что мой наблюдатель также смотрит из личности?
So my question is, does it mean my observer is observing from the person?
Well, let's look, because
Давай посмотрим, потому что
it seems, while listening to you, that perhaps you have some strong expectations of how man should be, your person should be in a relationship with you.
Вот, возможно, сейчас, когда я слушаю, возникает впечатление, возможно, у тебя есть некие ожидания от отношений, какими должны быть твои отношения, какими должны быть твои отношения с мужчинами.
And when we have such expectations, it's very unlikely that the people will perform to satisfy your projections.
И когда у нас есть какие-то ожидания, маловероятно, что люди вокруг тебя будут действовать так, чтобы соответствовать твоим ожиданиям.
So often there's a tendency in us to have a certain desire or a kind of fantasy of how we want to be in relationships.
И очень часто у нас есть такая тенденция, у нас есть желание, представление о том, какими мы должны быть, должны быть наши отношения.
And life will tend to bring you the people who will not cooperate with your projections.
И жизнь обычно приводит к тебе таких людей, которые не собираются соответствовать твоим ожиданиям.
Which is a good thing or not?
Что хорошо или плохо?
Да, у меня есть ожидания.
Yes, I do have expectations.
И это мой второй вопрос. На уровне там, истинного «я» мы как будто бы с мужчинами равны, что мы ничем не различаемся.
And that's my second question. At the level of the self, we are the same. The man and I are the same.
Но на уровне личности, ну, на том уровне, на котором я больше живу, например,
But at the level of the person, and that's the level I am living more
Yes.
from,
существуют гендерные различия, которые культурным,
there are gender discrepancies and differences, the cultural
Of
differences.
course. You say at the level where you're living from, is that by choice?
Но вот тот уровень, с которого ты живешь, как ты говоришь, это твой выбор жить с
Or by
этого уровня.
capacity? Is it like by choice, or that you're not able to move from this
То есть
place?
это твой выбор жить с уровня личности, или это ты просто не можешь с другого уровня жить?
не могу.
I'm unable to live from anything other than the level of the person.
That's not true.
Это неправда.
I feel that something is being kept in reserve
Как мне кажется, что-то вот ты сжимаешь, утаиваешь, сдерживаешь,
in order to give some energy to satisfying this desire of yours.
для того, чтобы наделить вот это желание твое энергией некой.
And that inhibits the drive and the openness towards complete freedom.
И это мешает тебе, мешает твоему побуждению, твоему порыву, твоему стремлению к полному освобождению.
Because somewhere in the mind feels that if I'm free, like I'm a Buddha,
Потому что где-то у тебя в уме ощущается, если я буду свободна настолько, как Будда,
who is going to have a romantic relationship with Buddha?
у кого же тогда будут романтические отношения? Кому будет интересен Будда?
And something wants a romantic relationship
И
now, and so I can only have this in my personal life.
И что-то желает этих романтических отношений и представление, что эти романтические отношения возможны вот
smiling
здесь
a lot.
в жизни. Вот
I
вы улыбаетесь, да.
I think I'm onto something there.
Мне кажется, я что-то задел здесь, да?
You see, so, but this is not true. I mean, somehow
Но это неправда на самом деле.
being in a relationship or having a family does not exclude you from freedom.
Но отношения, на самом деле, отношения и семья не исключают свободы.
But being determined to fulfill your desire does inhibit your opportunity to be truly free.
Но вот твое намерение выполнить свои желания, оно как бы мешает тебе, мешает твоему порыву быть свободной.
And if you have too strong a picture of who or how Mr. Right should be,
И если у тебя очень жесткое представление о том, каким должен быть тот самый господин, тот самый,
you might miss your chance actually.
ты можешь на самом деле упустить свою возможность.
Maybe someone who is really, truly compatible with you doesn't fit your model.
Возможно, кто-то действительно с тобой совместим, но он не соответствует той модели, которую ты построила для себя
At the level of your projections.
на уровне твоих проекций.
Ты прав. У меня
You are right.
У меня есть такое ощущение, что если я стану свободной, то мне не нужен будет мужчина.
I have a feeling if I do become free, I wouldn't need a man.
You need one right now?
А тебе сейчас нужен мужчина?
Мне нравится, что мы разные такие. Мне нравится как раз вот то, что происходит между
I
мужчиной и
like
женщиной.
being different. I like the relationship with
Мне нравится эта
the
игра.
opposite. I like this play.
Yeah, yeah. Has it worked out in the past? So
А пока у тебя все получалось, все срабатывало, тебя эта игра удовлетворяет?
Но сейчас нет.
No.
I would think that it's better to just really let go of this idea, let go of the idea.
Я думаю, что лучше просто освободиться от этих представлений, от этих идей.
And if you could trust life a bit more,
И если бы ты могла довериться жизни побольше,
so you're not seeing life through the eyes of your mind,
чтобы не видеть жизнь через глаза своего ума,
but you're more open and not searching for that,
и чтобы ты оставалась открытой, не ища все время этого,
but instead putting your attention on what brings you real lasting happiness.
но вместо этого ты бы обращала внимание на то, что принесет тебе настоящее, не постоянное счастье.
You may end up in a win-win situation.
На самом деле, вот ты можешь оказаться в ситуации, когда и ты будешь в выигрышном положении, и вторая сторона будет в выигрышном положении, беспроигрышном положении.
Тогда возвращаемся к первому вопросу.
Then I would return to my first question.
Я это все понимаю, и во время сатсанга начала наблюдать за этими реакциями, чувствами своими.
I understand all of this, and in satsang I began observing my reactions and feelings around this issue.
Yes.
И понимаю, что я одновременно и наблюдаю, и чувствую это. То есть я чувствую себя не легко, а подавленно. И
And
поэтому
at the same time, I understand that I'm observing while being depressed. I understand that it gets me down.
If you're observing your feelings,
Если
and
ты
then you
наблюдаешь-
say, but then when I'm observing, it gets me down, then the one who gets deflated or gets depressed about it is also observable also. No?
Когда ты наблюдаешь вот за этой реакцией, что это тебя подавляет, тот, кто подавляем от этого, он также наблюдаем. Ты наблюдаешь и за тем, кто испытывает эти ощущения подавленности.
But if there is strong identification with this one, perhaps there isn't the will to perceive it as also a temporary state.
Но если у тебя есть сильное отождествление вот с этим подавленным, возможно, у тебя нет желания увидеть, что это нечто отдельное от тебя состояние.
And this is it, you see. Maybe you don't want to be tackled there. You don't want me to come too close to that identity.
Может быть, ты не хочешь подойти вплотную к этой идентичности, к этой отождествленности, к этой личности.
Because that identity is needed to fulfill its projection. You see.
Потому что эта идентичность, эта личность необходима тебе для того, чтобы выполнить твои проекции.
But I'm only pointing to a deeper space.
Но я только указываю на более глубокое состояние пространства,
In which this very identity that was functioning as an observer is now seen as itself a phenomenal appearance. No?
в котором эта идентичность, эта личность, которая была наблюдателем, также воспринимается как некий феномен.
It's not a mental inquiry.
Это исследование не из ума.
It is very, very exposing and very efficient.
Здесь мы обнажаем все, что есть, и это очень эффективный метод.
And how are you going to have a beautiful relationship when you're holding back a part of yourself?
И как ты ждешь, что твои отношения будут хорошими, в то время как ты удерживаешь некую часть себя?
When you're denying your greater freedom,
Когда ты сама себе отказываешь в большей свободе.
Понимать я это понимаю.
I do understand this.
Как это менять, я тоже понимаю, но на деле это пока происходит,
And
как
I do
происходит.
understand it in theory, how to change things. But in reality, things are going the way
You
they
are
are.
turning my words into theory
Ты превращаешь мои слова в теорию,
because your mind doesn't want to accept them.
потому что твой ум не хочет принять эти слова.
Otherwise, they are totally practical and real.
Иначе эти слова абсолютно практичны и реальны.
It's the mind that is saying, let's get back to reality. In reality,
Ум все время говорит, ну давай вернемся к реальности, в реальность.
referring to its fantasies.
Но под реальностью он подразумевает свои фантазии.
So perhaps you are not really interested in freedom enough
Потому что, наверное, ты недостаточно заинтересована в свободе
to come to it in a full way
для того, чтобы предстать пред ней полностью.
because you have something else you're holding on to, you see.
Потому что ты удерживаешь все время что-то еще.
Freedom does not deny you these things.
Свобода не отказывает тебе во всех этих вещах,
It's you deny freedom.
но ты отказываешь себе в свободе.
Your mind cannot give you this freedom.
Ум твой не даст тебе этой свободы.
It may bring you someone who looks the part of your projection,
Ум может привести к тебе такого человека, который частично соответствует твоим проекциям.
but you have no control over their internal being, how they are.
Но ты не можешь контролировать их внутреннее естество, как они будут проявляться.
The whole thing just smells of trouble for me.
И в этом смысле все, что можно ожидать, все, что я могу ожидать этого, это только большие проблемы.
Я это понимаю, я как не заказываю мужчину, который будет мне подходить. Я как раз хочу свободы, хочу освободиться.
I do want freedom. I'm not ordering the right kind of a man. I do want freedom.
Then choose freedom.
Тогда выбирай свободу.
Because when we say we want something, it
Когда мы
feels
говорим-
like eventually I want it. You put it in front and ahead.
Когда ты говоришь, мне хотелось бы, то есть это где-то когда-то в будущем, когда-то это вот может быть.
But when you choose it, it means now.
Но когда ты выбираешь свободу, это означает сейчас.
And there's nothing to fear, actually,
Здесь на самом деле нечего бояться.
in the living discovery.
Это живое открытие.
Я этого не чувствую.
I don't feel it.
You don't feel what?
Не чувствуешь чего?
Я не чувствую свободы.
I don't feel freedom.
Я только
Of course
понимаю
not.
об этом.
I only understand about freedom.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Конечно, конечно.
You've been keeping it away a little bit.
Потому что ты где-то на расстоянии держишь свободу.
I was going to come and say, oh, I want to be with you. It
Но
doesn't want to be
как
with you.
свобода придет к тебе и скажет, о, я хочу быть с тобой.
You see, I mean, there has to be something more. It's like, I want freedom and I want this.
Ну, потому что вот ощущение такое, что я хотела бы свободы, но мне хочется и вот этого.
Ну, так и есть.
Yes, that's the way it is.
It's not that freedom is jealous of your boyfriend.
Понимаешь, свобода не ревнует тебя к твоему бойфренду.
Boyfriend. It's just that your mind will use this dichotomy
Но твой ум использует эту разделенность, эту двойственность
and will put your mind into confusion.
и тем самым путает тебя.
You must know what really is the most important.
Ты должна знать для себя, что самое важное.
choose that and be one with that.
Выбери это и будь едино с этим.
Yes. And see how it unfolds now. You see.
И посмотри, как все будет разворачиваться, как все будет происходить с этого момента.
Once you're free, you don't have to even choose what freedom will bring. You're happy in everything.
Когда ты свободна, тебе не нужно больше выбирать, что свобода тебе принесет. Ты будешь просто счастлива и естественно.
Что-то мешает, я слышу эти слова, я
Some-
все понимаю,
but
но я
something-
понимаю, что я отойду от микрофона, и все будет то же самое.
Something appears to be in the way. I understand
Of course.
your words, but I think as soon as I sit down, I'll be
Yes,
back again.
I am
in
not
the
selling
same-
you freedom. I'm not,
Yeah.
we're not even started yet.
Понимаешь, я тебе не пытаюсь продать свободу. Я даже не начинал этого делать.
Я ее хочу.
Yesterday, somebody say
Кто-то
it was
сказал
beautiful that we were talking about the queues that come in the morning outside.
Мы вот разговаривали о той очереди, которая утром образовывается у ашрама.
And they were saying, put a sign that says, queue for freedom.
И я сказал, давайте поставим такой знак «Очередь за свободой».
Are you in the freedom queue?
А ты в этой очереди?
Я здесь.
I'm here.
Okay, now this is different.
Это хорошо.
So then, right now, I'd ask you just empty your mind of all those things. Again,
Поэтому
same
се-
exercise, and as many of you can walk in through the same door, which is going to be open now.
Я хотел бы с тобой сделать это упражнение. Я приглашаю всех это сделать. Эта дверь открыта для всех.
Because a number of people have been sort of waiting. They listen to this exercise, which is totally open, but they're waiting for me to speak to them privately and personally.
Эта дверь открыта для всех, но кто-то из сидящих в зале все время ждет, что я поговорю с ними лично.
It's very unlikely that is going to happen.
Маловероятно, что это когда-либо произойдет.
Your one-to-one with me is now.
Ваша один на один встреча со мною сейчас.
So if you're ready like this, I simply ask you just to leave all your ideas that you've been carrying around, just leave them aside. Don't touch them at all. Leave them aside now.
Поэтому сейчас, если вы готовы, я прошу вас просто оставить все идеи, все ваши представления в стороне,
So that nothing gets in the way of our conversation right now.
чтобы ничто не мешало нашему общению сейчас.
Yes. Because there's something that you have to see and experience
Потому что есть нечто, что вам необходимо увидеть и пережить,
in order for you to know it as a reality.
для того, чтобы познать это как реальность.
So let's take those elements which are not needed, your thoughts and your feelings and the past and your hopes and aspirations, leave everything aside.
Давайте все, что нам мешает, уберем в сторону. Вашу надежду, ваше прошлое, ваше представление, все это оставим в стороне.
Are we waiting for anybody on this one?
Мы ждем кого-то сейчас.
So just leave it.
Давайте оставим все.
Even any information about yourself, your self-image, just also, we're not including this. We're coming right down to zero now, zero, everything.
Сейчас всю информацию о себе, все представление о себе, давайте оставим все в стороне и придем к точке полного нуля.
Don't keep any secret concepts hidden somewhere.
Не утаивайте никакие себе тайные представления о себе.
Or hold on to any desire.
И не держитесь ни за какие желания.
Even for freedom,
Даже желание свободы.
just be entirely empty.
Просто будьте полностью пустым.
Now, as you are here now, not holding on to, all these information and memories and so on, you're
И
simply here.
А сейчас, когда вы здесь и не держитесь ни за какую информацию, ни за какие воспоминания,
Totally
будьте полностью
empty.
здесь, пустым.
And don't put any new concepts. Don't pick up any new concepts.
И не ухватывайтесь ни за какие новые представления, концепции.
And also the feeling of waiting or expecting something to happen now, just don't touch that also.
И также все ожидания того, что может сейчас произойти, оставьте и это в стороне,
So that you're only here now.
чтобы вы были полностью здесь, сейчас.
Don't use your mind to create anything.
Не используйте свой ум для того, чтобы сотворить что-то, вообразить что-то.
Or imagine anything.
Не воображайте себе ничего.
Empty, empty, empty.
Будьте полностью пустым.
And no effort also to be empty.
И также не прикладывайте никаких усилий к тому, чтобы быть пустым.
Now tell me, what is here now?
А сейчас скажите мне, что здесь, сейчас?
Здесь слишком легко.
It's too easy now. Too light.
Is that a complaint?
Это жалоба.
Это непривычно.
It's unusual. It feels unusual.
Yes. You notice that your senses are still functioning?
Вы обратили внимание на то, что ваши органы чувств продолжают работать?
You can still hear sounds drifting in from outside.
Вы также продолжаете слышать какие-то звуки чего-то, что происходит снаружи?
You're aware of the sounds outside and what is inside.
Вы осознаете, воспринимаете все звуки снаружи и все, что происходит внутри.
You're not doing anything for this.
Для этого вы ничего не делаете.
Yes. Simply, this is the wonderfulness of consciousness.
Просто в этом величие, в этом красота сознания.
No desire,
Никаких желаний,
no intention,
никаких намерений,
no aspirations,
никаких желаний,
no need.
никакой нужды.
Does it feel unnatural to you?
Для тебя это ощущение неестественно?
Время от времени приходит страх, что это может снова исчезнуть.
A fear creeps in that this will go.
Is it gone now?
Сейчас это исчезло?
Is this gone?
Это ушло?
The fear is only coming from the mind. Oh, it is useless because this is going to not last.
Этот страх приходит из ума, он тебе говорит, в этом никакой пользы нет, потому что это не продлится.
If you touch this idea, if you believe this fear, you'll want to feel like, oh, I give up, which is just a thought.
Если ты прикоснешься к этой идее, если ты поверишь в нее, ты скажешь, я сдаюсь, но это тоже всего лишь мысль.
But this that is not a thought.
Но то, что есть, это никакая не мысль.
Yes. So right now you can say,
Поэтому прямо сейчас ты можешь сказать,
if it won't last, where will it go?
если это не продлится, если это уйдет, то куда это уйдет?
How can it go?
Как это может уйти?
Look.
Посмотри.
Don't just listen to your mind.
Не нужно слушать свой ум.
Yes. in fact, use it to test
На самом деле, используй его, чтобы проверить, выверить,
if this is true.
верно ли это то, о чем мы говорим.
Test it out rather than just believe it.
Проверьте это, выверьте для себя, вместо того, чтобы просто поверить в это.
Where can this go?
Куда может это уйти?
And what is this?
И что это?
And who are you also here now?
И кто ты также здесь, сейчас?
Are you different from this?
Ты отлично от этого.
You're still holding on to your person.
Ты до сих пор держишься за свою личность.
Why did you hold on to the person?
Зачем ты держишься за личность?
It's only a memory, it's only an idea.
Это всего лишь какое-то воспоминание, это всего лишь какое-то представление.
Now you believe that it is your person experiencing this.
Сейчас ты веришь в то, что это твоя личность переживает это.
But it is consciousness experiencing itself.
Но на самом деле это сознание, которое переживает само себя.
And I'll prove it to you now.
И я докажу тебе это сейчас.
Does this want a relationship?
Это хочет каких-то отношений.
Здесь и так хорошо.
Everything is right the way it is here.
Yes.
А как же мы тогда будем размножаться?
How do we be fruitful and multiply then?
You don't want to multiply, you want to divide.
Ты не хочешь
Because-
размножаться, ты хочешь делить.
Yes. First you divide, then you will multiply.
Сначала ты делишь, потом ты размножаешься.
Divide means you separate something and then you can do something. Because you're holding this desire, you see?
Ты видишь, как ты держишься за это желание.
You want a guarantee from life.
Ты хочешь получить гарантию от жизни.
I'll accept this if you send me a nice husband and some babies.
Я
Okay?
приму все это, если ты, жизнь, пришлешь мне хорошего мужа и деток.
So maybe you will have to go through this experience of looking for Mr. Right and
Возможно, тебе придется
Mr.
пережить,
Prince.
пережить это и пройти через этот опыт поиска своего принца,
to see if it brings you the happiness that your mind imagines.
чтобы посмотреть, принесет ли тебе то счастье, которое вообразил тебе твой ум.
Because you're forfeiting your entire freedom, all your life for this idea, for this fantasy.
Ты отказываешь себе в твоей свободе ради этой фантазии.
Я скорее готова от этой фантазии отказаться.
I'm ready to forfeit this fantasy.
Yes. And then leave it out with everything else. Turn away from it.
Тогда оставь это все. Отвернись от нее.
You alone have this power.
Только у тебя есть эта сила.
Yes. You're either choosing yourself or you're choosing your fantasy, your projection.
Ты либо выбираешь свое истинное «я» или свои проекции, свои фантазии.
Because you see what it was like just when you're holding on to this idea, how quickly the mind goes, yes, but...
Вот видишь, когда ты держишься за эту идею, как быстро вступает в свою роль ум, он тебе говорит «да, но».
You could not go through the door of nirvana at all.
ты не могла пройти через эту дверь нирваны,
because you feel that it would be so painful to let go of this fantasy.
потому что тебе казалось, что потерять, освободиться от этой фантазии было бы так больно.
But this is just a trick.
Но это всего лишь уловка, это обман.
And many of you should use this example to search yourself to see what is holding you into this state of phenomenality.
И многие должны посмотреть на это, использовать этот пример для того, чтобы посмотреть, что нас удерживает в этом проявленном феноменальном мире,
Denying your freedom,
и из-за чего мы отказываем себе в свободе,
which is your timeless joy,
который наша извечная радость,
your eternal being,
наше вечное естество,
your wisdom and peace.
наша мудрость и наш покой.
And to choose something which is just a fantasy.
И мы делаем выбор в пользу какой-то фантазии.
Because it sounds like you've already created a sort of dream of how you want things to be and how your children are going to look and where they're going to go and what kind of mother you're going to be. Because people go very far into these things.
Как кажется, мы уже создали себе все эти фантазии, какой мы будем мамой, какие детки у нас появятся.
And you just set yourself up for a lot of frustrations.
И на самом деле тем самым ты встала на дорогу, на которой ты столкнешься с кучей разочарований.
Because why should someone else give up their freedom to act out your fantasy?
Потому что кто откажет себе в своей свободе, чтобы соответствовать твоим фантазиям?
So I can only encourage you to
Поэтому
say,
я только призывал бы тебя, побуждаю тебя.
what will you choose, you see?
Я призываю тебя и задаю этот вопрос, что выберешь ты?
And it starts right now
И
also.
все начинается уже сейчас.
Однозначно свобода.
Unequivocally, it's freedom.
Then you are already standing in the place of freedom. Just now throw out this idea, just leave it now. Leave this idea.
Тогда ты уже сейчас стоишь в пространстве свободы. Просто отбрось эту фантазию,
Yes.
отбрось это представление.
Yes. And is it hurting? Is it hurting? Is it painful to just say no? I have a higher desire. I have a higher choice.
Ты испытываешь ли ты какую-то боль, отказываясь от этой фантазии и говоря, что я делаю выбор в пользу чего-то высшего, большего?
And remember, I am not speaking against relationship.
И помни, что я не говорю против отношений. Я не против отношений.
But about creating an attachment to a concept.
Я говорю всего лишь о нашей привязанности к каким-то концепциям
And believing that to be real.
и нашей вере в то, что эти концепции реальны.
Do you want to go and sit down or you want to go through?
Ты хочешь пойти и сесть или хочешь пройти до конца?
До конца.
All the way through.
Then leave this thing now.
Тогда оставь все это в стороне.
Don't be holding on to anything at all.
Не держи ничего сейчас, не удерживай ничего.
And confirm what is here now.
И подтверди для себя, что здесь, сейчас,
When you are not split in two ways.
когда ты не разделена в себе надвое.
Where are you now?
Где ты сейчас?
Везде.
I'm everywhere.
Yes. Who are you? Something or nothing? What is it?
Кто ты? Ты какой-то объект или ничто?
Ничто.
Nothing.
Does it hurt?
Это больно?
Здесь что-то со временем происходит.
Something,
Течение времени меняется.
something is happening to time. The time is changing.
Yes. Don't worry, let it change by itself.
Пусть оно меняется, не переживай об этом, пусть оно меняется само по себе.
There's nothing for you to take care of.
Тебе не нужно ни о чем заботиться здесь.
Just keep your sense, your mind or your attention in presence. Just stay with the feeling of being. Just be the being.
Пусть твое внимание, твои ощущения будут здесь, в настоящем,
Marinate in this.
в твоем естестве. Маринуйся в этом.
And when the time is right, go, move about, do what you need to do
Как-
in the world of names and forms and time.
Когда
Move
придет
with it.
время, делай то, что тебе нужно делать в этом мире имен и форм.
Yes. I give you a tip.
Я дам тебе такую подсказку,
You
совет.
stay like zero.
Оставайся на нуле, как ноль.
That is pure awareness itself.
Это сама чистая осознанность.
It's pure zero. You have no story.
На полном нуле у тебя нет никаких историй.
Even though you are perceiving, you're not saving any story.
Даже несмотря на то, что ты воспринимаешь все, ты не сохраняешь в себе никаких историй.
Okay? When you go to this sense of just being, the
Когда
sense of conscious presence,
Когда ты приходишь к ощущению бытия, к ощущению осознанного присутствия,
where you are observing life and movement and time,
там, где ты воспринимаешь жизнь и движение во времени,
but you're not combining yourself with what you see,
но ты не вовлекаешься, не смешиваешь себя с тем, что ты воспринимаешь.
so your senses are reporting to presence now, not to the person.
Твои ощущения сейчас докладывают твоему истинному «я», а не личности,
Yes.
подчиняются тебе.
So this dynamic feeling or space, let's say that's 0 plus, okay? Just in your mind, for your own self, 0 is absolute awareness, 0 plus is the feeling of presence, that feeling that I exist, I am, but it's not a person.
Вот есть это ощущение, есть ноль, твое чистое сознание, но также есть восприятие, это ноль плюс, но это не личность, ты просто воспринимаешь.
It has no belief system.
У этого нет никакой системы верований, убеждений.
It is not the body, so it's neither male nor female.
Это никакое тело, это не женщина и не мужчина.
It is consciousness also,
Это также сознание,
but it is aware of its body, of the body.
но оно осознает свое тело,
Your relationships with people will be very natural for you.
и для тебя тогда отношения будут с людьми очень естественны,
Because you're always rooted in the source.
потому что ты всегда укоренена в источнике.
Yes. At the same time, your life is extending into daily life.
Но в то же время твоя жизнь, она как бы простирается и на каждодневные ситуации, на каждодневную обыденную жизнь.
Like a great tree whose roots are in the earth.
Как большое дерево, корни которые уходят глубоко в землю.
Your root is in the self, in the pure self.
Твой корень в истинном «Я», в чистом «Я»,
And your branches are in life.
а ветви твои простираются в жизни.
Something moves in life.
Что-то движется в жизни.
But just like the tree cannot live without the roots,
Но так же, как и дерево не может жить без корня своего,
all your activities
вся твоя деятельность,
are connected to the source.
она связана с источником.
It will show itself to you more clearly.
Это проявится для тебя все более ясно.
Now just be the being. Keep your attention only on being.
А сейчас будь просто своим естеством, существованием, сохраняй свое внимание, удерживай внимание на существе своем.
Like this, spontaneously, your life becomes much more spontaneous.
И вот таким образом твоя жизнь станет гораздо более спонтанной,
Because it's not coming from fear.
потому что ты будешь жить и проживать ее не из страхов.
It's in real time with the cosmic rhythm.
Все будет в режиме реального времени, все будет сонастроено с космическим ритмом.
You feel very well,
Ты чувствуешь себя прекрасно в этом,
light,
легко,
joyful.
радостно.
Ну ладно, я пошла.
I think
Спасибо.
I'd better go now. Thank you.
Yes.
Да.
Okay. Good.
Хорошо.
Good. Thank you. Can I hear from you for a minute? Before you start, I want to remind the room that you're just like, check in with yourself. Check in with this what I call zero state. Check in. That you know that you are. You know I exist. And you know that you are perceiving quite spontaneously. And you're not exerting any effort for this. You're somehow the sense of presence. It is not like a person. It is like just a vibration of consciousness. Examine how you feel. Are you under a spell? Or are you simply in a natural state of being? This natural state of being is your natural state of being. So that you know that you don't have to be always carrying some concepts ready for the next move. You're empty. And now watch as this body and mind come into contact with the sense of otherness. See if you are lost, or that you are merely observing that there's actions and reactions and interactions playing quite spontaneously like this, and you're still aware that you're just the beingness in which these functions are happening. Don't let your mind go, okay, that's finished, okay, next. Unending series of movements and thoughts can happen, but you are like the source, unchanging. There's a field of being, and you are one with this field of being. You're not imagining this, as I told you, don't imagine. Don't visualize. Simply, you're already here. You don't need, it's like you're here and you're showing me a photograph of yourself. No, you're here, it's enough. You are this beingness, it's enough. You don't even have to say anything about yourself. Your beingness is radiating beingness. It's just bad habit to be making up and holding on to some stories. Your story is always old and past, but your being is always fresh. It's always here. It does not need to know what's next, what's coming, what's tomorrow. Unlike the mind, which is always, while you're eating breakfast, is trying to find out what's for lunch. What's for lunch? When it's eating lunch, what's for dinner? It's always on to the next. Yet you are without next. The eternal does not need next. Everything is simply unfolding.
Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste.
This is very precious moment. Rather, I'll say the most precious moment, not only of this life, but of many lifetimes. Maybe each tiny step taken in past many, many lives has culminated in this moment where I'm standing in front of you. It doesn't matter at this time how deep is darkness of ego and mind. It doesn't matter. Because a single spark of light can dispel darkness of millions, zillion years. And the fact is, I'm standing in front of you, in front of sun. So how can there be darkness left? Please shower your graciousness, your blessings. Help me to establish myself in my heart, be with you,
Yes.
and stay there.
Yes.
That's it.
This exercise, this guidance is only for that. It's only for that. As long as we are carrying a lot of information, a lot of concepts, they are interacting all the time in your mind. And the mind is always, the psychological mind is always onto something else. So you always feel you don't have enough time to focus on this. But it's only a trick of mind. This is why I say, let's leave him aside. You can leave it. You can leave it. You have the power. I said, don't engage with this right now. Even though there's a habit, almost a reflex, to go back to the state of thinking like the person, it doesn't matter. Each time you will simply remember, but I'm just here, and I have nothing more to do with this. And gradually that nuisance will go. To become nuisance will go. So I asked you to leave everything, be empty of things. And sometimes it brings a little fear because people think, but if I'm empty of things, things are all I know. I said, it's a big mistake, no. Without you, there are no things. You are the perceiver of them. Nothing is wrong with anything. But it's what you take those things to mean that maybe trouble you. When I say leave these things, it's not because they're bad, but because your mind is constantly engaged with them. I say leave them alone, so the mind has nothing to play with for a minute. So he's here, I said, leave him also, let him go play with those things. But you are going to be here. And like this, you begin to recognize the difference between your mind and yourself. And you can begin to see now, like this, that if all these things are not there, what remains then? What is remaining by itself without any effort? Without any effort. So you're not keeping it. No, it must keep itself if it's kept. So leaving all things aside, every intention or desire or aspiration or memory, just leave them aside for the moment. And afterwards we'll finish. If you want them back, you go and get them back. Actually, just be open, they'll come. But if you don't, for now, you say, no, I leave it. I want to come to the end of this guidance. So I said, but you're here now. So without touching any of these things and holding them in any mode of time, like past or future or present, just leave everything. What remains then by itself? This is my question. What remains then? Feel. Look. Where are you? The truth has never been introduced in such a simple way. We are not doing, thousands of mantras and climbing mountains and sitting naked in a cave or nothing. It's right here as you are. Right here, now, as you are. Leaving everything aside. You cannot leave yourself aside. You're here. But as what? Everything you can perceive through the senses, you can perceive this phenomenal world. You can see, taste, feel, remember, touch. And even a sense of the personality that you've worn as some garment, that also you can speak about it. It's also not ultimately yourself. That which is perceiving everything, in every direction it is perceiving. That which is perceiving, can it be perceived? Can it itself be identified? Is it an object that is watching? Or not an object? Can there be perceiving without a perceiver? Please, look, now I can ask you these questions because you are eligible now to answer them from your own experience because you are the one who is here. You are transforming from the seeker to the sought. You are transforming from the one who is searching to that which it's searching for. You have become the thing to be found. But by whom? If you become the thing to be found, then what happened to the seeker? Don't listen to your mind. Mind is saying, "Oh, that's kind of all right. Yeah, we can come back here anytime we want." Who is this speaking? It's just voice, just thought, a voice in the wilderness. You are perceiving. But you who are perceiving, can you be identified? If you are the perceiver, the perceiving is taking place, the perceiver, can it be identified? Does it have a color or a shape? Don't just think this. You are on board, you're here now. You can discover now. Ultimately, are you tangible or intangible? Material or immaterial? Matter or spirit? What are you? Don't bring your mind into this now. You've left him. You're more than mind. You perceive mind as thought, even as sensations, as feelings, as memory. There is just what is. Can the what is be recognized? No, not phenomenally. It's not like there's one thing recognizing another thing. So therefore I call it a non-phenomenal recognition. Which means what then? It means that the thing is recognizing itself. Without an image. Sounds crazy? How does it feel? This. Where did it begin? Where did it begin? Where can it end? Do words like beginning and end apply to this? Which nation is its favorite nation? Are we one? Are you where I am? Am I where you are? What questions arise for this? What problems can it have? Are you simply running away from life? Avoiding your responsibilities? Check in. Don't speak about it with anybody. Just marinate in it. Just be absorbed in it. Have you become somebody else? So we don't have to suppress the senses or try to change them. Ice cream will still taste like ice cream. This person will spill whatever. But there's going to be a beautiful difference. A beautiful difference. You will never ever get depressed knowing yourself here. You'll not be overcome by despair. You may feel it, but it will not last. In a sense, it is a kind of a beginning inside the beginningless. Do you feel good here? Do you want the old stuff back? Anybody want the old stuff back? Maybe you never parted with it in the first place, I don't know. But many of you, going by the vibration here, are sitting now inside your own art. Is this vibration only existing in this room? If you go out, will you lose it? Does it belong to a you? Is there you and it? Please check now. Is it a possession of yours? Who are you? Therefore I say, don't be in a hurry to speak about it, because you will just get into arguments with people who have no way of experiencing what you're experiencing right now, because maybe they are more still in the usual state of body-mind personality. You also have body and function of mind, and even the sense of personality might be felt by others, but you will not know what it means. You're only beingness. You are the beingness. So speak about other things if you want, but only speak about this when it speaks. There comes a time when someone is speaking and somehow something is happening, and it will be a different way. It doesn't gossip. It does not need to speculate. But it can allow these expressions to manifest superficially. Superficially, everything you can do, love, play about, play. But inside, this idea of losing the self or becoming separate from the self, this is a ridiculous idea, is it not? Did this self-state just begin? Did it begin now? Or was it always here? Before you discover peace, where was it? Before you discover silence, where was it? Before you discovered this, where was it? It's always been here. It has timelessly been here. This is ageless. 1,000,000 years ago, this is just this. Striving through bodies to perceive itself, even while in the body. The mind is going to try and come now, and it's going to feel either in some kind of feeling of a mood, or some doubt may come, and you may think, oh my God, I don't know, I've lost it, I've come somewhere. Or just thought. It will just be thought. Without this, those thoughts could not be perceived. Nothing can be perceived. Nothing can live without this. This is the womb of the manifest world. Even this, as I told you yesterday, the vital force that is the animating power inside all life forms comes from this. Some people say, but I don't know. I can't say I am this. This is this. This is this. That's all. The one who says, I can't say that this one is some idea in this. Let me say, you are this. This is also part of what we are, as expression, as time. We have a time body, and very much a time mind. So they pass, they appear in time, they manifest in time, they disappear in time and with time. But there's something here which is not in the grip of time. Because time says, everything that you perceive through the senses and the mind belong to me. I swallow everything. Time says that. The only thing I cannot swallow is that which manifests me, which is pure awareness itself. The human being must discover its inherent nature as consciousness, pure awareness. Who plays through the form as time and change to experience the sense of growth, of evolution, of diverse tastes, of the elemental tastes, yet at itself, about itself, it is beyond need. How much more to go for you? Where are you now?
Very difficult to say.
Stay with that sense, the sense of being. Just stay with it. Grow to appreciate, to acknowledge, to enjoy, to love it. Having tasted this, the sages of past times could say, rid me of ego and replace me with you. I am that itself, they say. I am this myself. I am the imperishable self, the timeless one, the limitless one. Those words could be uttered then only. The last few days, for some amazing that I feel almost I've come to the end of the season. to have reached this point. This is end of the season realizations. If I can point you to this, and it becomes clear that this is this, and the sense I am must be one with this, is experienced in you. And I can say, marinate in this to your full joy. Can we move on from this and start to deal with domestic questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Very,
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
good. Very good, very good. Now I see hands going up. I don't know what they're going up for. I don't know. I'm mildly curious about what these hands have to say. So, okay, you seem to go. Come, let me hear what. Okay.
It's nowhere to be found. I have a wish.
Yeah.
Look into your eyes.
Tell me, what is it that's nowhere to be found?
The sense that I'm separate.
Then where are my eyes to look into?
They're here.
Yes. The one you're looking at is the one looking through your eyes. But it may take a little time to confirm this.
I'm here for that.
You're here as that. But, as I say, it will take a little time to, in your marination, it will come, these waves of illumination, to verify, to clarify, to refine, and to become silence again. All this is happening. You're already in a state of blessedness. Just keep on in your heart, say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nobody maybe understand you. Maybe you have to close your door, close your curtain. Say thank you, thank you. maybe it will be like this. Yeah. That is marinating to become prasad for God. This is the beauty of a human being, a human life, that we begin to come home again into the heart of being. We've gone too far this way. It's okay, we can do this. But we have not turned our attention here. When we turn our attention here, we begin to blossom in another way, beautiful way. A way of love and of contemplation, wisdom, peace, loving kindness, compassion, joy, silence, yes, creativity. This is what is happening, you see. And every day becomes your best day. This is why I used to say, it's good if you have your own room. Because something you want to express, it's going to laugh and cry at the same time. It's full, it's just, yes. This joy you cannot get from anything. This joy arising from inside. Yeah. Yes. Because it is true, because our world, we don't understand, as people say, well, I don't understand, you know, things like crazy. I said, yeah, you're going to have to become this kind of crazy once in a while. Yes, that you start to behave out of character, not as a mad person. This is a divine madness. This is different from the regular madness. You see, you don't have to be what they call. I don't know what they call it. Sectioned. You don't have to be sectioned for this. This is just a pure joy that comes for a while and somehow, yes. But then after you feel again, then you go out, nicely, and you go out and say, hello. Because for a time also, this joy can erupt for a bit, you see. And our culture is very, but in many cultures in the world, it is allowed that a human being, if this expression come. Sometimes the joy is so much you cannot walk. The legs are shaking. People say, are you okay? You say, just the legs, not the legs. Very good. Thank you, my love.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste, namaste.
I feel so blessed that I'm here in your presence. I'm really thankful for your presence, and for all of us, it means so much. And I can't express it, how much it means. I have been following you on YouTube for more than a year, I think. I have been following your pointings, and I realized I have been in this awareness that you're pointing us to. In this presence, I have felt it. But it got confirmed yesterday that it really was that presence that I was in, and I was not imagining it. I only want to share my experience. I don't have any questions in my mind.
This is what I say sometimes, don't be in too much hurry to share. Often it's the mind that wants, quickly, look, guys, whatever. And just be with it, just be with it. Be dissolved in it, beautifully. The more you are free of you, the more there is of you. You without you. The more you're free of you, the psychological identity, this emotional, psychological construct of a self, the more there is of the true self. You are the true self, discovering itself. You see? Transcending the lower projections about itself. When it wants to share, whatever it means, in fact it is it sharing? It's taking care of itself. Life takes care of life. That is sharing. Life takes care of life. We have forgotten that because in our speedy cultures, modern times, everyone is in a hurry. Nobody has time anymore. Even the unemployed, they don't have time to something like this. So no one gives much space or respect for meditation or something like this. So you have discovered that being in your silence and so on, you don't feel this agitation to act prematurely. Something is moving in synchronicity with the cosmic rhythm. Just, you're not concerned. And the things unfold in their correct time. And you notice this and take great, trust and faith from that. Many people were always acting prematurely. As I said before, that we are given this feeling that if you don't act quickly, you're going to miss your chance. But it's always the chance about obtaining something material or something momentary. You're discovering now is going to be a beautiful adventure. Just as life is revealing its own mysteries, and yet you're not here for mysteries, but it's wonderment, it's beauty. Yes.
Everything you've just said, saying now, is what I've been experiencing. It's been beautiful. Like you said, life takes care of life. That is exactly what I wanted to share. I don't know how I reached here. I just had a wish to see you.
Yes.
And life carried me here. My mind doesn't want to believe it, but I'm here.
Yes.
I don't know how I'm here in front of you.
When I say life takes care of life, also that things have to change and be transformed or die and be reborn. All of this is life taking care of life. All of it is there. And also the bitter things are needed also, not only the sweet things. The one who is wise knows this, that sometimes pain is necessary for change to happen in a fruitful way. Just as the tree has to be strongly pruned back to produce healthy fruits, sometimes our own mind has to be pruned quite strongly in order to move in harmony with the heart's oneness. When the time comes, you know. How? I can't say. Just you come to know intuitively, automatically, spontaneously, unexpectedly. And knowing arises in you and recognition takes place. Your actions become much more tailored to the needs of the moment. Your words become appropriate to what is required in the moment. You're going more into the likeness of that perfection. Stay with this. Don't make up any theories about it, any speculations about it, any concepts about it. It is a spirit being. For much of our lives we've been thinking, rationalizing, projecting. But now you are in the taste of your own self. Take care of it. It takes care of you, and gradually you become one. Let us just sit for a minute with this. Let us just sit for a minute with this. Not thinking. Simply being, and without expectation, not, okay, now what we're going to do now. No, just to be. Because rare it is, even in the human kingdom, perhaps the most intelligent species on the planet, do we have space just to be in the waking state. Often the mind is in some kind of gear of expectation or desire or attachment, but now you are. You are in the full experience of that which is-ness, simply is. Which is not waiting for what the next moment will produce. And it's not reminiscing about the past moment. It's just simply here. And that which is simply here, look for yourself. What time is it? Does it have any ruling planets? Does it have any favorite concepts? Is it a man's world? Mm-hmm. Don't touch any idea that whatever is experienced or perceived should not be what it is. Let things be what they are. In fact, what they are is what you take them to be. So your senses become very silent without the interpreting mind. Your intelligence is not coming from university, but from universe. universality, from consciousness, which does not have to study. So let both be there, let everything be here. But now pay full attention to the impersonal sense of being. As someone just say, I can't speak about it. No word is quite suitable or adequate to convey what this is. And it's not necessary. Just be. Om Namah Shivaya. We hear the sounds, but who is the hearer of them? We see so many things, but who and where is the seer of them? Is it other than you? Okay. We can have somebody playing some music today? Thank you. As you get to move from here, move from your silence, and in your silence, or the mind will come in somehow and make some judgments, which is fine, but something believes them, and you will think it is you who believe them. When you are staying back, the believer in the mind becomes very, very weak, like looking at the moon when the sun is here. You can sometimes see the moon in the sky, but no one pays attention to that. In the same way, the whole mind feels like the moon in the presence of the full sun.
Guruji. We will sing some song for you. It's on Hebrew language and there are translations.
It's said here, like the title is Yedid Nefesh, beloved friend of the soul, compassionate Father, draw your servant to your will, then your servant will hurry like a hart to bow before your majesty. This is a Hebrew song.
deliverance, all the right things that I've been doing in my life, and how to move forward. Thank you so much.
was there. And I was so scared for that state. My mind was trembling. And I was so scared. I cannot live the rest of my life without my mind.
You're feeling that you can live the rest of your life without your mind.
Yeah, but I want to go back to that state. I cannot.
But you can use your mind, practical things, just not like psychological or personal, all that you learn.
It was your grace. I could reach them. I want to go that state again.
We can fix this.
Thank you, sir.
Come tomorrow.